Okay, one other place where I see you really differ from other two is on education and Medicaid.
Yes, because education and the property tax go hand in hand. I say get rid of the property tax. You never really own your property, even if you paid for it, as long as you have to pay this annual lease payments to the government, and they can take it away, your property away, if you don't pay them. And it's based on an arbitrary assessment of what your property is worth. So I say get rid of it. Now, they tell me that eliminating the state school portion of the property tax will decrease funding to our public schools by 40%, which, not coincidentally, will put us back to what we were spending on schools about 10 years ago. I say, and this is different from everybody else, I say we overspend on education. It is possible, and we have proven it, that you can spend too much on something and still get an inferior product. So this is what we should do. If we still take the state funding that comes from the state, which is separate and apart from property taxes, that's about, say, on average, $5,500 per student for each school district. Take that, and that money would still come from the state. That fulfills our constitutional requirement to provide a efficient means of a suitable public education. Now, and you send it to them per capita, per student, to the school district. Now, if they think that's good enough, that they can run, and I know many private schools that provide a good education for $5,500 a year, but if they think that's good enough, they can stop right there. But we should allow this local control, return everything possible about education to local control, where you're closer to the parents, the consumers, and it works better. It's more like the way a free market would work in education. Get rid of the mandates from Austin or Washington, including these insane tests and teaching the test. That way, you make it possible for the local school district to say, we want more than what this $5,000 or $5,500 can provide. We want to supplement. Well, let them do that. If they want more, structure what their educational program would be and let the voters decide. And if they want to do more to pay for it, let the voters vote in, say, a local sales tax devoted to their education. Let the local voters decide if they want to take, say, for example, a penny per dollar sales that we pay in Harris County for Metro. If they want to say, instead, we want that to go to our schools, let them do that. Have an experimentation about what education should be like, because in a state as large and diverse as Texas, one size fits all does not cut it.
That's right. That makes sense. Well, now let's look at the record of Governor Perry on education. And I have his website here, and he brags about raising teachers' pay and incentives, public-private ventures, road to Tier 1, affordable college, college prep mandatory in high school, and increased enrollment. All right. You want to address those?
Well, one thing we do in he is mistaken to tout what he has done, because that just is more of the problem. It is not something that should be top down from the governor or from Austin. We should let the people who know more about what is going on, what their children need, make the decisions. And that's why I say local control. Let those, do you know in Texas, we have now more non-teachers in our public school system than teachers?
Oh, yeah, heavy with administration.
Yes.
But let's talk about his record. Now, let's talk about the record. Here's the truth. Our public education is in ruins. 6% of our Hispanic students don't even graduate. They teach the TOS test. We're bringing in teachers from Latin America. The NEA runs Austin. Everybody knows that. Illegal aliens go with Rick Perry's consent, go to school on taxpayers' dollars. He supports No Child Left Behind, which is total federal control from top to bottom. And he opposes elected state Board of Education members.
Well, I say let the local people decide. I would say no bilingual education. I would say lots of things that I would want my school district to do. But I say even more than that it must be a local decision. And they'll make all sorts of decisions. My own our younger child, went to a public school where every child there lived within a 2-mile radius of the school. Yet we had school buses. Why? Because the money was there. It needed to be spent. We should let local school districts, knowing that they have to make the hard decisions because they and their friends and their neighbors and their businesses are going to have to pay for it, decide, do we really need school buses? So a rural school district would say yes. A urban one would say no. But nobody has to make hard choices now. The money just appears, and it's their job to spend it. And they spend it on what I call the Taj Mahal stadiums, athletic stadiums that would... that a small college would love to have. And
that are always going to give us more jobs.
And go into debt. They get into debt that they never would have incurred, but for the assumption that the money will always be there. Well, it's not there. This debt is coming due. And what are they doing? They're laying off teachers because that's the only way they can see fit to cut.
Because they're broke.
Because they're broke.
Well, now, quickly, I want to mention Bill White on education, and I have it right here. And it summed it up is more money, more, and not that some of his ideals might not be fairly good. However, he doesn't talk about how to pay for it. Okay,
we're broke.
So that sums his up. All right, let's go on to your next, which I believe is that border security.
Yes, and actually, this is my top priority.
Oh boy,
this is my number one issue. If I could not do one thing but this during my administration, and I can do this, it would be a good thing. We need to have a secure border. It's a sovereignty issue, a security issue, a safety issue, a financial issue. And you're not going to get it from any other candidate but me. I am the only one. I propose to secure our border and defend our border and the property rights of the owners down there on that border by using our own Texas State Guard. Now, not the National Guard.
Explain the difference, please.
Well, the National Guard can be nationalized. It can be picked up by the president and sent who knows where to do who knows what.
Well, like the Mideast?
Oh, yes. Well, it has been, can be and has been, and will be. So many people are reluctant to join for that reason, and we're reluctant to get them involved in a mission if they can be removed. The Texas State Guard is by law, state and federal law, our state militia. It can never be nationalized, can never be taken from the state without consent of the governor. Rick Perry could put the Guard on that border now and help those people out. He could have done it for 10 years. He has not done it. He will not do it because he does not want it. And, of course, Bill White's no better. But I say get our Guard what they need. Equip them, train them, give them a mission. Send them down there to support those people who are fighting. This is violence. This is not immigration that we're talking about. This is an invasion. This is a trespass. This is a violation of state law. Many state laws get trespass and other things. We need to send our Guard down there. The governor can give the word, and it acts. I will do that. Nobody else will. So if you want a secure border, I'm telling you, I'm not just another choice you've got for governor. I'm your only choice.